Welcome back to Let's Not Sugarcoat It. Season 3 is here and we're excited to dive into the core of communication, relationships, and leadership.
We're your hosts, Bella and Lee, a husband and wife duo with a successful business helping couples and organizations get it together to play a bigger game and elevate their relationships and performance.
We believe in keeping it real, so each week we'll bring you incredible guests, entrepreneurs sharing their authentic experiences, along with episodes featuring just the two of us tackling the tough topics.
So, if you're ready to enhance your connections and sharpen your leadership skills, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
So when people are need to make a big change like this, awareness is a huge piece. So if we go back to that moment that you talked about being out, at the dumpster, this awareness, this real kind of truth telling yourself, I have a problem. So that's awareness. But with that discomfort that comes after that, because awareness needs to lead into some type of action for change, because even though we're aware of a problem, there's the comfort in knowing that the problem is very predictable and certain. So even though I'm aware, I can still choose to continue to have that problem because there is this sense of safety. Even though I know it's harming me, the harm is known. And even though we intellectually know that a change will be positive for our lives, that change, because it's new action, there's no previous history that we have with that type of behavior, the person that will become, the brain processes it as a threat. So now all of a sudden we have this massive gap that creates that discomfort. So when you're in that moment, you have this awareness, you're starting to feel probably a lot of discomfort and new actions that you're going to have to take. What was that first thing that really helped anchor that action for you, right? Because we're talking about a lot of stuff, but what was that one thing for someone who's listening now who has that awareness of saying, yeah, I think I might have, a problem. Maybe it's not defined as a problem, but I have maybe an unhealthy relationship with food. What would be the one thing that you did right after that someone listening could do as well?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I did was I think just really admitting it was the first thing I needed to do for myself to be really authentic with myself. And then I had to get in acceptance that I was going to have to get uncomfortable to deal with it, but that I could go kind of like be a little bit uncomfortable and then kind of like find some more like safe, comfortable ground that wasn't so self-sabotaging. So the first two things I did, first thing, because I was so addicted to sugar, I started learning about sugar. And it blew my mind to realize that sugar was created to be addictive on purpose and that it's 10 times more addictive than cocaine. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not just me. I'm not crazy. Like the food industry has done this on purpose. And when I started educating myself, it felt very empowering and helped with some of the discomfort. The second thing that I was terrified of doing was feeling my emotions. So it was like baby stepping into, okay, I'm feeling fear. I want to just go to food. No, I'm trying to not do that. What do I want to do instead? Well, maybe I should just try feeling my emotions and seeing what happens. And so what I started to remind myself of in the moment was, yeah, this is uncomfortable, but I'm safe. There's no actual threat like a bear in my room. It's uncomfortable, but I'm safe and the discomfort will pass. And so I think starting to remind myself that the discomfort was temporary also helped make it a little more, digestible to work through. And the first time I felt in like just 30 seconds, I put a timer on for 30 seconds. I opened my eyes and I'm like, oh, nothing bad happened. Wow, like I can do this. And so I think it was those little micro moments where I gave just a small amount of time to try something different that was uncomfortable, helped me see I could do it, which built a little more confidence and helped that uncomfortable thing become a little more comfortable. And so whether you're a binge eater, you're in bulimia, you are emotionally eating, you're a full-blown food addiction, which is like you're thinking about food nonstop, whether you're planning your next diet or you're trying to control the amount of food you're eating or you're planning your next binge, it doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum. We've got to deal with your triggers first of all. Emotional or binge eating will keep coming back if we don't understand everything that's triggering us. So most people will have dozens and dozens of different triggers. And these triggers, I really call them multidimensional. There's physical, emotional eating triggers, things like fatigue is an example. Fatigue increases your hunger signal. It's called ghrelin. It makes you more hungry when you're tired. And we have a dulled leptin signal, and leptin makes us feel full. So when you're constantly fatigued, which is usually caused from high cortisol, a thyroid issue, low progesterone, dysregulated nervous system, stress, those kinds of things, not eating enough, you're actually innocently setting yourself up for more fatigue, which sets you up for increased appetite levels and trouble feeling full. So that in itself is a huge trigger that I see a lot of my clients dealing with. And if you don't know that's a trigger, how are you supposed to deal with it properly, right? So fatigue is an example of a physical emotional eating trigger. All hormone imbalances can trigger emotional and binge eating because of the way they impact your appetite, but amplify cravings. So high cortisol gives you more sugar, salt, and refined carbohydrate cravings. Serious thyroid issues can give you heavy salt cravings. Progesterone, which is one of the female sex hormones, if that's low, you will have a higher likelihood for sugar cravings because, again, like you were saying earlier, we chase food in anticipation of reward, and we start thinking about eating the food and we go and take the first few bites. We get a huge dopamine high, and dopamine is one of your mood boosting neurotransmitters, the reward pleasure neurotransmitter. Most women that I work with actually are deficient in dopamine and serotonin, which is your mood stabilizing neurotransmitter, when we first start working together. And if you don't know these things, I didn't know these things, like we're not taught this stuff. Like, how are you possibly going to just wake up one day and be like, well, I'm going to go get my dopamine and serotonin tested. I think I have high cortisol and, I've got these inner child wounds that we're not waking up thinking about that. It's like, oh my God, I need to lose weight. Nothing in my closet fits. All the negative narrative, like that's the cycle so many women and men are in different ways. And so dismantling and understanding your triggers is a huge part in your healing and fully breaking free of these behaviors, because it allows you to understand why you're going to food, why your body is wired right now to make it easier to want to seek reward from food or numb or check out or whatever the reasons are for using it. And that is incredibly powerful, because the perception shift I like to encourage with my clients is your triggers are teachers. They're trying to show you where you're out of alignment, or where there's a lesson to learn or something for you to heal. Weight loss blocks are no different. Weight loss blocks are teachers. They are trying to show you where you're out of alignment or why your body doesn't feel safe to release protection. So if we can shift the perception and actually start to get curious about why I'm triggered to emotionally eat, why my body won't let go of protection, then I can actually, instead of needing to have control with food with a diet or needing to try and control my weight and over exercise and eat less to lose weight, which just stresses the body out, I can actually go on a healing journey and heal versus keep quick fixing and numbing it and distracting myself from what's really going on. So healing those triggers is what allows women to break free, along with building the worth. And in the interim of that, some examples of other things we're working on: healing diet mentalities, stopping quick fixes. Let's stop using calorie apps. Let's stop calorie counting. No more weighing and measuring food. Because as you heal, this is the biggest part. You learn to trust your body. You become connected with her, and you learn how to listen to her. And as you build trust, you realize, well, if I'm eating mindfully and I'm treating my body well, I'm not going to gain weight. I don't need to count calories. Yeah. Make sure you don't eat enough fat or too much fat. Like, that's the one thing. I had one client before I started working there. She's like, my breakfast is like 800 calories and 100 grams of fat. And I'm like, I can kind of see why you're not able to lose weight, because you are over consuming. So okay, let's tweak that, this much instead. But other than that, you become attuned. And as you heal, you trust your body, and therefore you no longer need to grip out of fear to these quick fixes that don't work. And now we're in this unfortunate Ozempic GLP-1 craze, which is a nightmare.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So those are some of the first things that we work on. And then we do the hormones and the gut and the blood sugar and make sure we're supporting those physical symptoms as well. And as that happens, and Ozempic is incredibly dangerous, in my opinion, when it's being used for weight loss, being used to shut off the food noise. It's incredibly concerning because it is for blood sugar, type 2 diabetics. But the problem is as soon as big pharma and all their celebrities and puppets get on the bandwagon and start promoting it, people who, and I mean this in a loving way, I used to be one of them, but people who are insecure in their bodies and feel very unloved and have a lot of self-hatred, you get into this state of desperation. You're easy to control, manipulate. And so when you're desperate to lose the weight because you are convinced that that's finally going to fix everything and make you happy and make you feel worthy, and you've tried all the diets and nothing is working, you are far more easy to convince that Ozempic or one of these GLP-1s would be a good choice for you, because A lot of people around you are probably doing it and getting temporary weight loss results. Your doctor, unless you have a really good, authentic doctor, is going to be like, yeah, that's probably the first thing they're going to suggest, because they're making a big commission off of it. It's a big money grab. But what we really have to start asking ourselves is, do I want to keep chasing quick fixes that are going to keep me disconnected and distracted from doing my deeper work? Because Ozempic is not going to help you love yourself. It's not going to help you understand what's triggering you to go to food or purge. It's not going to help you identify your hormone issues. It's not going to help you heal your diet mentality. It will not help you deal with your traumas. Maybe it shuts off your appetite and the food noise while you're on it, but that's a concern because we're not supposed to be shutting things off in the body. I will say it time and time again. You cannot mess with nature. And we, right, are not robots. We are nature. And so it's no different than women who have been put on the birth control pill because they have cramps or acne. It shuts off a natural part of our cycle and innate being to be a woman the way we're supposed to be. And there's many other ways to address things like that other than a pill. So it's the same with Ozempic and GLP-1s. We're not supposed to not feel hungry. We're not supposed to feel nothing. Some of the biggest concerning side effects I'm seeing with Ozempic are permanent bone and muscle loss. Some women are losing weight and men and can't stop. A man just died. He couldn't stop losing weight. He died. He became so thin. 1,500 people in the United States just filed a lawsuit because they lost their eyesight permanently. Women are becoming suicidal because it shuts everything off, including your neurotransmitters. You don't feel anymore. Suicide and depression are increasing. Anxiety, you're malnourished, you're starving yourself because it's shutting off your ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. It's also skewing your hormones. Thyroid issues, high cortisol, all these hormone issues are getting bigger. Deficiencies with iron, B12, vitamin D, your vitamins and minerals because you're not eating enough.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to have this quick weight loss? Is it really worth it? Because what I want women and men to start asking themselves is, what are the long-term effects of this in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? Am I going to be around in 10 years if I keep doing this to myself? Because it's very dangerous. And if you are told, oh, well, once you lose the weight, then you can go on a maintenance dose for the rest of your life, like another huge red flag. It just is all proof that it is not addressing the roots. And the problem is when women are coming off of this, if they've been using it for binge eating or emotional eating or weight loss, guess what? What gets suppressed explodes after. So now they have significant increases in ghrelin. They're so hungry, so they are getting triggered to binge and overeat. The hormone issues, the nervous system dysregulation, all the things that have been suppressed and thrown off are now amplified. And so that fuels the mood issues, the desire to go to food more easily, the hormone issues, weight comes back on even easier because you've suppressed your metabolism. Whenever you put yourself into starvation, women, you're suppressing your metabolism in as little as 4 days. You're inhibiting your thyroid function. And that only is going to boomerang in the direction we don't want it to go. Yeah. So these are some of the many reasons why I do not suggest it, because it's another Band-Aid and you're avoiding doing what is needed inwardly. And what we need to normalize, and why I love what you guys are up to, is because we've got to normalize getting uncomfortable, addressing the roots, doing root cause healing. And I know that doesn't make big pharma money, and we have to become sovereign and like bankrupt those guys, because this is where the healing occurs. And every time we keep quick fixing, we keep this bigger distance between us and what we actually want to achieve. And we can do it naturally because I see it all the time, right? So that's my thoughts on Ozempic and all that stuff.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights to elevate your life and business.
If you found value in our conversation, spread the love. Share this episode with family and friends, and let's grow this supportive community together.
And don't forget to like and follow us so we can reach more amazing people just like you.
Until next time, remember, let's not sugarcoat it. Keep it real, raw, and unfiltered.